What's up, guys? I got something special for you. I was invited by Activision to play the multiplayer reveal for Call of Duty Vanguard, obviously playing against some very good players like Tim the Tatman, jokes, TP, Merc, pro players, so Symphony. So this is the gameplay that I got that was at least watchable, and let's get into talking about all the goodies that you guys want to hear about from somebody who's played every Call of Duty game. So now that we've got that sorted, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the part that you guys all want to hear about. It's the gameplay. And the good news is that more likely than not, every single one of you has played Warzone at some point in time, so you're familiar with the way the game engine runs, right? It's not going to be weird or new to you because the game is on the same engine as Modern Warfare, same engine as Warzone. And what they say that's going to let them do is easily port in weapons better, make them more balanced, etc. I don't really give a shit. What I do like is the fact that Warzone's engine is one of my favorites that they've ever had. And I mean that, even more than a Black Ops or almost as much as COD 4. I like the way the gameplay feels, the way the game looks, the way you move in it, and it's nice. And so it's the same. It feels really smooth. They've had 2 to 3 years to work out the kinks of this game engine and optimize it even more than the first time. So like the feeling of the game, familiar, good, I like it. The maps are a big thing for me, and they should be for everyone. The fact that we're getting 14 6v6 maps is awesome. I love that idea. Way better than like the 5, 7, or 8 that other games have been launching with. It's the bare minimum they could do. I really don't understand why map choice and how many maps were being, shipped in the game. Why was that ever an issue? It should have been a priority. It helps keep the game alive. So for that, big thumbs up on that. The 4 maps that we played, this one is my favorite, despite the fact that it has some weird fighting areas. On the rooftop, where I am right now, it does have the standard general 3-lane, and I think most of the maps did. They had the 3-lane like layout, with the exception of the snow one that I believe felt a lot like Block from COD 4, with a bunch of sniper perches and windows and an open area in the middle. That one's a bit chaotic. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not a huge fan, but each map does have their drawbacks. I did get spawn trapped by TP and Hutch and some other pros, Merc. But that's Call of Duty, and that map that I'm thinking of is Eagle's Nest, and that was definitely hard to get inside the building. So if you're playing domination, you can set up a really, really mean spawn trap there. It's just the lanes and the ways to get out are a little too narrow, but I'm pretty happy overall, and I did like the dynamic environment changing as the game went on. It's not meaningful cover that is getting blown away, really, right? It's like little pieces of wood that you could get shot and killed through anyways, but it does seem to open the map up the more you play, and it does change the way the map looks quite significantly. So I could see some people using cheeky gun holes in Search and Destroy, or some of the slower game modes, which is my favorite. More so than I see people running and gunning and realizing that, like, oh no, the wooden chair's not there anymore. You see what I'm saying? So let's get on to the coolest and biggest change that I think they've made in Call of Duty to date. This is significant to me, and I just don't feel like people are talking about it as much. It's the way that they're doing gameplay selection. So previously we'd have games like Ground War, which would have a lot more players, 8v8 or 12v12, and you'd be able to play domination, team deathmatch, whatever, or you'd have regular core types. What they've decided to do is give you basically a chaos slider when you queue in for games between tactical, I think it's balanced or something like that, and then blitz. And wow, what a great idea. Every single map now can be transformed into a slow play 4v4 intense, like a little bit more game battlesy experience, as well as it can be cranked up to the maximum amount of players that the game should ever allow on there. We played 24v24 on the block map, the snow map, I can't remember. We played 16v16 on Eagle's Nest. I think this was 20v20. I mean, this is such a brilliant idea to cater towards the kids with ADD, while also not limiting yourself on the maps that you're able to play. They made a mention that they wanted every single map to feel like Shipment, which I love the idea to do that. Like, so the dynamic amount of players that are going to be allowed to play in every game mode, whether you're choosing Blitz or you're choosing Tactical, that to me is the single biggest change that I am very excited for, because it should be the de facto thing. I want to be able to play Ground War on Shipment every now and then and hate myself and get spawn camped, just as much as I want to be able to play like Ground War on Bog or like Overgrown. Why do I use COD 4 examples because Ground War was my favorite game mode, but you were limited in what you could do and where you could play it. So 2 thumbs up for that. Really big fan. The downside is that the tactical gameplay on the big snowy map was some of the most lazy, boring shit I've ever played. I will not be doing that. That could be adjusted. Maybe there's a minimum amount for that, and you don't keep it at 4. But hey, 2 thumbs up, man. They're trying something at least a little bit new. I'm sure you're wondering about gunplay, which is super important and good news. I've got great news. Each gun had character to it. I don't know what it is about certain games, but Black Ops Cold War did not feel like any of the guns had any meaningful characteristics to them that made them feel unique to each other. It was really just what shot the fastest, the straightest, and that will always be the case. But at least without very many attachments, or even when some of the players like Symphony, and Hutch, they were level 120. I don't know what happened there, but they had like the best things unlocked, period. And they are using some of the most advanced rifles with all the attachments on, and they felt good. They did feel good, but they didn't feel like ACR Modern Warfare 2 beaming good, and I like that. I like the fact that the guns seem to have drawbacks, that the bar does have a slow rate of fire but packs a punch. I like that the M1 Garand is unwieldy, but if you can hit your shots, it's going to tear people up in 2 shots, right? I like when guns have characteristics to them. However, you will absolutely only see people tryharding at the moment with the current loadouts, with the STG-44, because that is the de facto M16 of this era, right? It's the best gun of World War II. The bar will be strong. I liked it, but it has a slow rate of fire, so we're going to have to see what's up with that. The Thompson feels like it's the strongest SMG, but it definitely has the most recoil. The MP40 feels like a balance. I like the Sten a lot. It feels like a laser. It feels comfortable to me, so I'm a big fan of that one. I didn't get to try the final one, but it seems like there is a good enough variety of weapons that it should be. It should keep everybody at least relatively happy. I got a comment on the sniping. It's fucking dog shit. It's really not good. Even with the most upgraded sniper car, or it wasn't even the Car 98, it was like the 3-stripe or 3-shot or something like that. That thing, the scope speed was unbearably slow to the point where I didn't really even snipe in this showcase, which is something, I mean, that's my favorite thing to do. So I know you're just gonna have to grind to get the attachments to get it, but holy fuck, man, it is so bad off default. And who's to say the Car 98's not faster? We only really got to use this one sniper, so don't freak out. We'll see how it all performs in the beta when it comes out, and it's an open beta, and maybe we can unlock that. But for now, it does not seem like it is an aggressive sniping game. It feels much more measured. Kind of like how everybody felt with Modern Warfare before they realized you could just cheese the shit out of the AX-50 or something like that. I also was really happy to see that there's a pretty wide variety of what seems to be some very interestingly bad weaponry that could be good with attachments, like the shotguns that you can put a 6x scope on, so that implies there's slug options, I'm guessing. I don't know. But, I mean, same with the LMGs. It's crazy. What you're watching right now is the Ground War, and you'll understand how many people, 48 people, is on this map towards the later half when I finally realize, hey, it's probably not a good idea to sit up here and snipe. Look how many people are in the windows. It's truly one, and I jumped out and there's about 45 people in the streets. It's too funny to me because it's not a map that lends itself to having this many people. It's just the lines of sight are too open. You're always in view of somebody else, but it does play a lot like the Battlefield maps. It's like a grind machine, you know? You're gonna die a butt ton of times, but it's gonna kind of be chaotic fun, and you might get yourself a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-man spray. If you're getting 100 kills in a game, this is where you're doing it. You're basically in an all-out TDM in a Warzone game, but look at how slow the sniper is. This is just the default one without anything on it. It did feel strong and powerful, one shot from the chest up, but the game already struggles, right, with spawning with the normal amount of players, so I just need you to understand the danger in having too many players spawn in as well. Let's talk about the game mode. So they showcased quite a few game modes, including the 2v2 Champions Hill, which I know a lot of you guys played in the PlayStation Alpha, but we're talking about this one specifically where the capture point roams around the map. And I just say it's sometimes the simplest changes that make the most sense because, wow, what a basic change that is really fun because you can never sit up and make a perfect hold. It's always moving each area that the circle is in. You know, it forces you out of cover into a precarious position. You have to engage in fights to keep it going. It keeps moving no matter what. I like the game mode. The more that I played it, I hated it at first, because it just seems kind of weird for you to have a bunch of people just standing out in the open at any given time, but that's part of the game. You don't have to go stand out in the open if you don't want to, but you won't get any points unless you're in there. So you can either choose to wait and use cover and just hide in it when you're going through buildings or whatnot, or you can choose the high risk, high reward thing. So a nice slight little innovation on something so basic that I think, hey, I might actually be interested in playing that. But that would be a lie, because we're all really honest with ourselves here, and I wouldn't lie to you. I don't really give a shit about playing multiplayer the way that I used to play it growing up in high school, where I'd log on for 8 hours and I'd just play Ground War. I don't really enjoy that. And so I appreciate the 2v2 championship thing, and I thought that the 2v2 game mode gunfight in Call of Duty Modern Warfare was a good idea. It never got me back on the game. It was just a good, fun other mode to play if I was already on the game, and for that, I think it's worth it. And so I can't really hate on it, but really, game battles, search and destroy, and some sort of competitive ladder are the only things that I would actually spend time playing and grinding with friends. In fact, I think like a competitive ladder would actually be a funny thing for me to do, because I could literally do a road to gold in Call of Duty. But for whatever reason, Call of Duty just seems really not down to do it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get why we can't have a good ranked playlist. It was part of the reason why I played Halo so much growing up. Even though I wasn't good at Halo and I cared more about Call of Duty. Just people want something to grind. And one last thing before we dip out of this. You're watching the bar gameplay. We have to talk about the gameplay chatter for your AI. The AI chatter is some of the worst stuff I've ever heard, man. They only have one line, and it's, I'm getting fucking pinned down here. I'm pinned down here. I'm pinned down here. And it's just, it is incessant. When there's 48 people on the map and they're all yelling, I'm getting pinned down here. And this happens, by the way, because of the new suppression system, which I don't like. If you get shot at, around, or near, or you're spotted through a wall or something, like your movement speed slows noticeably. It's like if you're playing Counter-Strike or something and you get tagged and your speed slows down, and it makes it annoying to play a game like Call of Duty, where it's all about movement, getting from point A to point B, and really keeping yourself mobile. I hope they nerf it or change it, especially since none of us got to use the real perk that lets you benefit from that, which is called piercing, I believe. And it's a little much, man. It's a little much. I'm not quite sure that is a good direction for the game to move in. But I'm also in the same group as somebody who thinks that UAVs are overpowered and always have been. So, I mean, there's a reason I run counter UAV in every single game that I play for Call of Duty. It's just, you're going to have a UAV up the whole time. I'm going to have a CUAV up the whole time. And I just saw Merc get like a 7-piece with a glide bomb. But that's it, man. I think I will be playing quite a bit more of this when the beta is out for PC. I think if you've played Modern Warfare. I don't know why I called it Advanced Warfare. If you've played Modern Warfare and you've played Warzone, you know what you're in for here. It can't be worse than either of those two games, in my opinion. It will only be better optimized. So there's something for you to look forward to. I'm more excited about the Call of Duty now than I was when I heard it get announced. I still think World War II or whatever this is lazy, and I'm tired of it, but at least they're giving it a slight color palette. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. But 2 thumbs up, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to some fun times with friends, and it's another Call of Duty, so you know exactly what you're getting in for. I don't want to hear anybody being like, dude, I had no idea it was going to be like Call of Duty. Yeah, it's Call of Duty. There you go. Anyways, thanks for watching all, and I'll talk to you guys later.